Welcome to Fblthp. These losses for Grand Warlord Fblthp. Hope you're excited. As far as opening hand goes, let's go on Mulligan. Not super wild about this one. And yeah, we just need to catch a wine. Yeah, we'll keep on this one. That's not too bad. Oh, there we go. I mean, a blue source. I'll put the island on top. Let's go and lead off with Ancient Tomb. Let's go Mind Stone for 2. There we go. We're already off to the races. Opponents ahead, 30 to 28. I'll get Mind Stone down, get Fblthp pop backed up, and let's get the chat. There we go. And then, anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing Fblthp, Mr. Grand Artificer himself, the Master of Tezzeret, the Wielder of Chaos, Mr. Fblthp, the Grand Warlord. Whenever Fblthp enters the battlefield, draw a card. If it entered the battlefield from your library, or is cast from your library, draw 2 cards instead. Then, whenever Fblthp becomes the target of a spell, shuffle Fblthp into its owner's library. Playing against Trostani, which I will cover in just a second. So let's get this island down. And do we want to go for a card draw at this point, or just want to go for Worn Power Stone? You know, let's do some setting up. Let's go Fabricate. And yeah, let's just go for it. Let's just go wild with card draw. We're gonna go Fabricate. We're gonna grab Alhamaret's Archive. I think that's how you say it. No, that's how it's gonna be for the video. So we're gonna Fabricate for that archive. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Next turn, Worn Power Stone. We'll be able to get that down. And then I'll cover what Trostani's got going on here in just a second. Let's get this popped out. There we go. Where are you? There we go. Let's grab the archive. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. Playing against Trostani. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Then for a 3-mana activation, Populate. And if you don't know what Populate is, that is making a copy of a token that is already on the battlefield. So we run into Myriad Landscape. So we'll get that down. And I think we just go Worn Power Stone at this point. Yeah, this could be 1, 2, 3. We get down Worn Power Stones, enter the battlefield tapped, and that'll put us on Archive next turn. And I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we can actually just cast Fblthp into an open Alhamaret's Archive, and then really get some good card draw going. We're gonna have one with Machine. Once we get down Archive, that'll be 10 card draw. And so yeah, we can have some fun. So we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you want to get into Magic Online, be sure to hit up MTGOTraders. It will certainly take care of you. Oh, and we run into Sentinel Tower. I'm liking what we've got going on. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go for Archive. We'll get Archive down, and then we'll go for Fblthp, and that'll allow us to draw into 2 more cards. And then hopefully we can close the game out with Sentinel Tower. So shout out to the Discord for suggesting this earlier in the day. So I built Fblthp, and I played it, and you know, the core of the deck was really good, but it's one of those decks to where you just don't really have a lot of good value going on. And so, like, I think pretty much my only win condition was Chaos Wand and Paradox Engine, and as much as in my head I was like, oh, you'll win the game if you get that combo symbol. No, it did not win the game. But it is definitely, it's a fun combo in the deck, but it will not win you games. So with Sentinel Tower, you know, if we end up getting a lot of spells going, that's something that we can kind of use as an alternative win condition. That's kind of our game plan at this point right now. We got Aether Flux Reservoir and Sentinel Tower. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think at this point we just go 1 with Machine, because that'll be 10 card draw. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's go. Hold on. Let's swing in Fblthp first. All right, so we're going to swing in for 1. And if this ends up being a short video, I'll probably still end up posting it, because this is about as good of a draw as you can get. Let's go and push it with Fblthp. That's going to be 1. Put him down to 29. And let's go for 1 with Machine. That'll be 1, 2, 3. So that's, yeah, there we go. This could be 10 card draw. We go Island, and then what else can we get down so we don't have to discard? I think we want to go, yeah, we'll go Sky Diamond. That's going to enter the battlefield. We're going to go for, actually, I think some of this stuff I kind of want to hold on to for Sentinel Towers. You know, let's just go and pass the turn. We'll get rid of a lot of these islands. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll put us down to 9 cards. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. I kind of like Pedium, but I think at this point I kind of, yeah, we'll get rid of Pedium. Mystic Confluence could be good, but with only double blue, it's a little hard for us to get that going. So we'll get rid of that and then pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, shout out to MTGOTraders. If you want to get into Magic Online, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. You can use coupon code JOLT to get 10% off your order, or go to their website, type in Jolt539. You can see some of my cool playmat designs. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to get your name at the beginning or the ending of the video, that's one way that you can join the Patreon and get your name in the beginning or the credits. So now it's officially free time. We can have some fun. But yeah, this Fblthp deck, this is this is something else. This is basically just kind of card drawing. And the reason I had that weird, goofy intro at the beginning was because, you know, if you think about it, if Fblthp is a Grand Warlord, you know, he's got Tezzeret on his side, he has Jace on his side, he has the power of Aetherflux Reservoir and Sentinel Tower. There's just a lot of good stuff that Fblthp likes to do. So at this point, we're going to try to go for a Sentinel Tower, Aetherflux Reservoir win. I think that sounds pretty fun. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have Destroy All Artifacts, because then that would just be like massive air horn. Just, oh, dun 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 dun. I think we still want to leave up Swan Song. Yeah, if we want to leave up Swan Song, we're going to have to tap down the Ancient Tomb. So, as much as I'd like to not do that, we are already down to 18. Yeah, we'll just go and pass the turn. So, at least next turn, whenever we cast a spell, we're going to be able to negate some of this Ancient Tomb damage that we've taken. We've got Elixir of Mortality, we've got Augur of Bolas, we've got Swan Song Disallow. So, if we want to get creative with kind of actually countering our own stack, you know, just to simply get those triggers going, we certainly can. But we'll see what we want to search up with Tezzeret too. But yeah, as far as the deck goes, we've got one win condition in here, and that's Chaos Wand and Paradox Engine, but that's not a great win condition by itself. And so outside of that, we've got both of them on the battlefield, so this video is pretty much just kind of like a little deck tech. So I'm really excited about that. Sorry about that. Our opponent said something in the chat. I was going to say, hey, so they are a friend of the channel. So hopefully, best of luck to them. But yeah, as far as the win conditions go, you know, this is pretty much, we got Sentinel Tower, which are and shout out to the Discord. My Discord, it is completely free to join. So if you'd like to join and talk Commander stuff, you can join. We talk comics, different things like that. There's a link down in the description too for that. But yeah, somebody suggested Sentinel Tower, and the name is escaping me right now, but hopefully we can end up with a really nice tower and Aetherflux Reservoir combo, and that'll be some really good magic. But yeah, other than that, it's just kind of card draw. You can see where, you know, just get down Archive. We also have Conjurer's Closet in here, so that way if we can somehow kind of keep bouncing Fblthp, that's just kind of what we're going for. Now, as far as how much blue mana we've got 1, 2, 3. So 3 blue mana, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've got 10 mana. Let's do this. So let's go Augur of Bolas. And we can just kind of do like a little mini stack at this point right now. So let's go Augur of Bolas. There we go. Click that last colored mana. It's going to enter the battlefield. We're going to get the Aetherflux trigger going. Now, to get Sentinel Tower going, we have to cast Instant or Sorcery. So at this point, we're just kind of going for an Aetherflux Reservoir. But with the Augur of Bolas, that'll hopefully allow us to go for, if you do... Yeah, if our opponent wants to give us a copy of Augur of Bolas, we can go for that. And then Stoic Rebuttal. Okay, we'll take that. So we'll grab that, put those on the bottom in any order. Let's go Elixir of Mortality. That'll be another life gain that we can go for. And I guess, do we want to go Tezzeret the Seeker? Yeah, let's go Tezzeret. We've got a ton of counters at this point right now. But hopefully we can grab something off Tezzeret. So we'll gain a little bit of extra life. That's going to put us back up to, I think, 28? 27? I haven't really keeping up with the Aetherflux Reservoir. There we go. Puts it up to 30. Excuse me. And I think with Tezzeret, I think we just go minus... We need to plus up Tezzeret. So we got untap up to 2 target artifacts. Let's untap Sky Diamond, and we'll untap Worn Power Stone. And that'll at least kind of keep us on leaving up Swan Song for any sort of counter magic from our opponent. And then also, that'll allow us next turn, if we can keep Tezzeret on the battlefield, because Bramble does not have Trample, so that'll at least allow us to go for the -X next turn. And then once we grab Conjurer's Closet, that'll really allow us to really kind of get some good card draw going. And then hopefully we can end up with a nice Sentinel Tower stack. But yeah, so, and also if you're a fan of the EDH Lounge, we actually just recorded 2 lounges this past weekend. So we've got a little bit of a spoiler alert. We've got some lounge coming out this Friday, and then we have another lounge coming out next Friday. So not this upcoming Friday, but the following Friday. So I'm really excited about that. The one coming out this Friday, I play Bantu, believe it or not. If we have an Aristocrats Commander, I'm playing that. Ooh, Tindershoot Dryad. Okay, so we can't counter that, but yeah, we're going to have to let that go through. But yeah, I end up playing Bantu in this upcoming Friday, and then I play Fblthp in the following Friday. And boy, that was a that is an interesting game. I'll just go and say it now. So get your bootstraps ready. It's kind of a long one. All right, so our opponent's off to a really good start. They've got double Tindershoot Dryad, and that's definitely something that we need to watch out for because you can really get some good sapling tokens going once per turn. But we'll go for that Conjurer's Closet with Tezzeret, and hopefully we can end up getting a really nice amount of card draw going. And this goes to show you just how good Tindershoot Dryad can be with that extra trigger. They've got double +2/+2s, making them 5/5s. Whoa. And then the fact that they've got Elemental Bond on the battlefield too. Oh, that's pretty brutal. So we go Island. Let's go. Yeah, I think at this point we just go X for Conjurer's Closet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That way we can start bouncing Fblthp. We can take another hit at this point. Where are you, Conjurer's Closet? There we go. It's going to grab Conjurer's Closet, and we're going to make sure that Fblthp goes to the exile zone instead of the command zone. And now I'm kind of wishing I'd packed a ensnaring bridge potentially. Now we do have Weir of Invention that we can grab something else on the battlefield, but I think at this point, about the only thing we maybe want to grab is Paradox Engine, and that's something if we're going to try to go off next turn. Let's see what we draw into off of Weir of Invention first. So we're simply just going to go and pass the turn. Let's go Conjurer's Closet on Fblthp. We're going to have him enter the battlefield again. And these tokens do not have trample, so at least that's going to be somewhat of a saving grace at this point to where we're not going to have to worry about some huge amount of trample damage. Let's go 2 card draw off of this. Oh, there we go. Crane and then Preordain. So we might, because at this point we've got Preordain, and if we end up wearing for Paradox Engine, that will allow us to generate a pretty good chunk of mana, but at this point that's going to really kind of constrain us on blue mana, so we'll kind of decide what we're going to go for off of Weir. About the only other thing we can go Chaos Wand, but like I mentioned, we need to have Paradox Engine on the battlefield to really take advantage of that. And if we wanted to get a little silly, so we could take another hit, and so what we could do is we could grab Panharmonicon with Conjurer's Closet. I think we might end up doing that because we're going to take a hit for 10. That's going to put us down to 20, but on the back end, the next turn, that's going to be a lot. So we could still get down Crane and then block on a couple of these saplings, but they're going to be getting sapling tokens beginning with each upkeep, which is going to be really, we almost might need to kind of go off next turn. And I just don't think that Panharmonicon gets it done at that point. All right, so Poe's going to go for Trostani. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain life. Do we want to go for Disallow on that, just to kind of counter that? Just to stop any sort of life gain, if we were going to end up going for Aetherflux Reservoir, or even something like Sentinel Tower. Yeah, I think we go Stoic Rebuttal. Yeah, let's go Stoic Rebuttal. That's going to counter Trostani. This is just going to be 2 blue. That's going to be Aetherflux Reservoir. And the main thing we're doing with countering Trostani is we just want to, if we're going to try to end up going for Sentinel Tower and Aetherflux Reservoir, I know the 50 life is not going to matter, but it might end up mattering with Sentinel Tower. We might be able to squeeze out. We have to have a lot of things go our way, but hopefully we can make Panharmonicon. That'll be another Sentinel Tower damage. Yeah, let's go and go Disallow on that. That's going to be double blue. We'll gain 1 more life. And at this point, we're just trying, we can kind of throw together a weird stack for Disallow and a lot of these counter magic, but it's really hard for us to do that on our turn without getting enough value on the battlefield. We could try to counter our own Preordain or Swansong our own Preordain, but we really want to make sure that we can get as much stuff going on our side as possible. All right, so we got Bramble swinging in. That's going to be 5/10. That's going to be 14. Yeah, I think we just go. We need to block on one of these creatures. So let's go Augur of Bolas on one of the saplings, and that's going to be 9 coming across. That does kind of cut into our Aetherflux Reservoir activations, but we'll see what sort of fun stuff we can get going for next turn. Alright, so they're going to get the extra Tender Shoot Dryads. At this point, we almost kind of need something like Cyclonic Rift to kind of send them back if we want to get a little bit of an extra kind of advantage this turn. But we'll see what we draw into. We still have Preordain. And then once we get Sentinel Tower active this turn, we can at least kind of hopefully start working towards that. So let's go Misty. And we're going to go ahead and crack Misty. That way we can at least kind of thin it out. I know it's not technically deck thinning, but you know, at least we know we're not going to draw into that. So let's go Preordain for 1 blue mana. It's going to be Sentinel Tower, and this is going to be Aetherflux Reservoir. And I think at this point, if we're going to close it out, we're just going to go and send that damage up top. Ooh, Mystical Tutor. So that's going to go on top. We're going to draw it with Conjurer's Closet. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. So let's put Mana Drain on the bottom. Let's put Mystical Tutor on top. No, excuse me, then we draw into Mystical Tutor. And then I think we have enough for Cyclonic Rift. Yeah, so we do that. So let's go ahead and go Mystical Tutor. That'll be a little bit extra damage. We're going to get some life gain. We're going to send that damage up top to our opponent. Let's grab Cyclonic Rift on top of our library, and then let's go ahead and just pass the turn, because what we can do is we can basically just bounce Fblthp, and then it's going to allow us to at least, and yeah, we need to wait on Weir of Invention, but we could also Weir in response to that, but let's go ahead and grab, we'll bounce Fblthp. That's going to give us Cyclonic Rift and Mana Drain, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's going to be 10 total mana. That's going to give us 3 mana left over, and that's not going to be enough for Weir of Invention. So let's just go and pass the turn. We're just going to hold up Rift at this point and then send it back over to our opponent. We can still at least mana drain something if they go, and that's going to give us just a little bit of extra mana. It might kind of make this Weir of Invention a little bit better on our turn. But at least we were able to find that Mystical Tutor at least buy us a little bit of extra, at least a few extra turns, because I don't know if we can close it out just yet, but at least being able to send it back with Cyclonic. Ooh, Guy's Cradle, oh my goodness. And they've got a ton of action with Elemental Bond too. Now here's the downside. So we can go Cyclonic Rift, send everything back to the hand, but depending on what they get going this turn, they can always rebound with Guy's Cradle on their end step, but at least it'll buy us, buy us one more turn. Let's see what they're going to be casting right now. Okay, so they're going to go for Rampaging Balos. And then once we go for Rift, we still have the Mana Drain option to go for that, to counter something that, you know, so let's say that we want to counter Tender Shoot Dryad. We may want to end up countering Rampaging Baloth, because at this point right now, getting those full 4 Beast tokens is going to be a little bit harder for us to stop. Well, technically it'd be a 5/5 sapling. Just kind of depends on what they end up targeting with Bramble Sovereign. But yeah, we're definitely going to end up going for Cyclonic Rift, because we don't want to lose. Okay, Cathar's Crusade, okay. And that's going to be Secure the Waste for 5 tokens. Now this one, basically, our opponent's kind of playing into our Cyclonic Rift. And if you're sitting there wondering, they might have not just seen that with the reveal off of Mystical Tutor. Sometimes that does happen. So at this point, we're at least going to be able to bounce everything back once they start to swing in. I feel a little bad about it, but you know, this is mono blue. They can still rebound on the back end. So let's go and go Cyclonic Rift. Okay, so we're going to go Cyclonic Rift. We're going to send everything back to our opponent's hand. Like I mentioned, you know, with Mystical Tutor, it is a reveal. But on Magic Online, if you don't have the reveal zone popped up, or let's say that you're trying to think about your next move, I am 100% guilty of this. And sometimes I forget off the reveal zone what happens, especially if you pass, if you hit F6. So as far as miscalculating Cyclonic Rift, yeah, sometimes that can happen. Okay, well, you know, like I mentioned, it's not completely over, but they can definitely rebuild, but they're going to have to discard down to hand size. So, in fact, I'll probably just go ahead and let them discard down to hand size, and then we'll talk about what we can do for next turn. Okay, so they discard down to hand size, and they've got 7 cards left. Now, they did end up keeping Bramble. The question is, do we want to end up going for Weir of Invention for anything? We can go for a Gluttonous Crane. Yeah, let's see what we draw into first. Narset's Reversal, and let's go Crane. Because basically, we're going to have a turn to kind of set up on stuff, and let's go Sky Diamond. Actually, now that I think about it, if we're going to end up going for that, let's just go Panharmonicon, because that's going to be the best amount of card draw that we can assemble. So let's go and swing in for Fblthp damage. If you're keeping score at home, that is 2 combat damage. And also, just want to give a heads up, this is like the first time I'm recording this video in 1 versus 1 Commander. So, just like when you get behind the wheel of any new vehicle, there's a little bit of a learning process. So this is definitely a learning process. So if I'm not doing something 100% correct, or I'm not playing optimal for some certain reason. And just giving you a heads up. So let's tap down Sentinel Tower, tap down Aetherflux Reservoir. That's going to be Conjurer's Closet, tap down. We can tap down Elixir, and we'll tap down Actually, no, we only need to tap down for 4. So that'll allow us to grab Panharmonicon, and that'll make these draws just a little bit smoother. So we're going to do a little bit extra damage to our opponent with that tower. Aetherflux is going to allow us to gain some life. Let's go Weir for Panharmonicon. There we go. It's going to enter the battlefield. That'll be some extra card draw. Let's get the land drop down for the turn. Let's go Crane. Yeah, because if we end up going Crane, that'll be Mana Drain. Actually, yeah, I think I kind of like holding on to Mana Drain on this one. So let's just go ahead and pass the turn. We're going to bounce Fblthp. We could have gone for Crane, but I like getting the having access to Mana Drain and Swan Song, especially if we need to stop. So yes, definitely want to use that ability. I'll bring in Fblthp. Oh, look at this. It's going to be 4 card draw. And then hopefully that should set us up for a nice Sentinel for next turn. So Trophy Mage, Rhystic Study, okay. Looking to see a little bit more Instant Sorceries, and then Scalding Tarn and Island. Alright, so we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We do have to discard down to hand size, so at this point we're probably just going to go and dump Rhystic Study, because that's really not going to do much at this point right now. But this deck is definitely a kind of spin the wheel style deck. You know, it's something that, not the series that I have, but it's something that is very dirtle. And it's definitely in the growth stage. You know, something like Narset's for Reversal. Just kind of seeing how that's going to go. Man, I'm almost tempted just to kind of hold on to enough stuff for next turn, like countering Mana Drain into Narset's Reversal. Yeah, that's fine, because if we need to, what we can end up doing is simply just going for Mana Drain on the Tendershoot Dryad, and that'll at least kind of stop it. And what we can also do is, if we want to get a little bit extra card draw, we can actually just go ahead and go for a Mindstone Crack, too, just to see what else we can rip into. Yeah, I think, because if we're going to go for a Sentinel Tower line of play next turn, I think that'll... We need to get a lot of stuff going, but if we're going to go for it, because we don't have access to another Cyclonic Rift, we could try to find the... We have the Mission Briefing, which allows us to flashback Cyclonic Rift, but I think it's just sooner than later that our opponent's going to be able to close it out with enough creatures on their side of the battlefield. Okay, so they've got enough mana for Guy's Cradle, and they're simply just going to go and pass the turn. So let's do this. Let's go Myriad Landscape. We're going to sack that. It's going to be 1-2. It's going to give us a couple more blue sources for next turn, which is going to be really important. It's going to be 2 islands. There we go. It's going to be 2 islands on the battlefield. Let's go ahead and crack Mindstone. And then Frantic Search and Mox Amber. Okay, so we can get some stuff going. Yeah, I think I like that. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so we're going to see what we draw into for next turn. Draw into Island. Let's go. Let's go Scalding Tarn. Going to reduce 1 more island out of here. And we're going to try to go off this turn. Let's go Island. Because what we can do is we're going to hold priority on this. So let's go Mox Amber. That's going to give us an extra Aetherflux Reservoir trigger. Let's go Frantic Search. And what we're going to do on this Frantic Search is we're going to... So we're going to go Frantic Search. We're going to be able to untap our 3 different lands. And we're going to go for Narset's Reversal on this. Because that way we can copy it and bring it back to our hand. And that'll be an extra trigger, extra Aetherflux Reservoir trigger. We're going to be able to copy that. Send it back to our hand. We're going to be able to draw 2 cards. In fact, let's go ahead and go Frantic Search in response to that, too. That's going to be another Aetherflux Reservoir trigger, Sentinel Tower trigger, and then Remand. Actually, we can Remand. Oh, but that's a copy of them, so we can't go for that. We discard an island, untap 3 lands, Ancient Tomb, island. Let's go Remand. Actually, let's do this. So we go Mana Drain on Frantic Search. It's going to be double blue. And huge shout out to our opponent for sticking this one out. It's going to be Aetherflux, Sentinel Tower. We go Remand on Mana Drain. And I think at this point, once we get this done, that's going to allow us to end up going for the Aetherflux trigger. Let's go Sentinel Tower to our opponent. That's going to be some extra. There we go. And we can just straight up just go for the Aetherflux Reservoir trigger to our opponent. I don't want to waste any more of their time. There we go. Good game to our opponent. you know, earlier, even if they hadn't just played into that open Cyclonic Rift, the fact that we still had it, they could have rebuilt the board state. But as you can see, that bought us enough time to kind of end up going for the board state. Huge shout out to the people in my Discord for suggesting Sentinel Tower and Aether Flux Reservoir. As you can tell, this deck cannot strictly just rely on Chaos Wand. It is a fun way to win with the deck, but it doesn't really close games out. But you can definitely see we're Sentinel Tower. You know, we're dealing about 4 damage per spell. You get into these weird stack scenarios to where we could use Narset's Reversal to make a copy of Frantic Surge. We still had Swan Song to go for something else. We had Mission Briefing. So even if we didn't have Aether Flux Reservoir on the battlefield, we still could have gone for a really nice Sentinel Tower and dealt some damage to our opponent. So Fblthp, completely busted. You can see how much damage he did today. You know, technically this is not like a stack your deck with Fblthp, but you know, that's not my cup of tea when it comes to Commander. So just building this artifact, card draw style deck, you know, with Fblthp, you know, you can see we're just bouncing it with Conjurer's Closet, Panharmonica, and once you get that snowball rolling down the hill, you can end up with some really, really nice card advantage. So, but yeah, anyways, if you enjoyed your time hanging out with Grand Warlord Fblthp, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.